All right. Oh, welcome back. While I'm dropping stuff over here, I want to deal with tonight's card. There are 4 fights on tonight's card. More fights than usual. And as always, my new protocol is to wait until close to the fight, preferably the day of the fight, to talk about it, just in case somebody pulls out. But apparently everybody may wait. Good to go. Now, I want to deal with the most interesting fights for me first. I don't want to go in any particular order. And let's start with Marina Rodriguez against Luciendo. Now, I've told y'all before, Luciendo, she's a scary little girl, okay? She is, to me, a child prodigy. In the cage, she fights like she's in her prime already. I need y'all to hear me good and think to yourself, how often do you see this? Usually when you see a 20-year-old, 21-year-old, they fight like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. When you watch how she manages distance, closes distance to land her shots, she shows wrinkles. She does not look like she's 20, 21, or however old she is. How old is this girl? Since day one, I was blown away by that. The same was the case with Loma Lookboonmee. When I first saw her fight, I'm like, what? This chick is how old? I don't think many people understand how significant that is. Barber, to me, looked raw. Virtually all of these other extremely young fighters, they fight like they're still young. Not these two. I'm telling you, in Invicta, Loma fought and she was in so much control of fights. When she was in control, it was like she was playing with her opponents, toying with them, not even taking the fight itself seriously. And both Loma and this girl 22. Loma and this girl had a bunch of fights before they became UFC fighters. That seriously helps. That's the equivalent, in my opinion, of a boxer who had a lengthy amateur career before they turned pro. Quite often, you can tell. Many of those Olympic level boxers come into pro boxing looking like a pro already. It ain't no watching them. Oh, you need to polish this up. Oh, you need to work on this. You work on that. Now listen, this girl's not invincible. But she was not embarrassed by Yasmin. What's the girl's name? Jauregui. She's not embarrassed by her. And again, many people thought she won. And Marina is looking bad right now. But that's not the only thing. Another big problem I see for opponents of Luciendo that it's also rare. It's already rare to have a real young fighter with a whole bunch of fight like they had real experience, fight like they show a lot of veteran moves and signs. The level of relaxation to fight relaxed. That's mental strength. That's mental strength. She does. And it's crazy to me. On top of that, she does not abandon fundamentals. She keeps her hands up for the most part and shoots from her guards. Now let me ask y'all something. Did y'all expect for them to be this close in height? Marina is said to be 5'7". Lucindo is said to be 5'4". Aren't they in the same shoes right now? Or is somebody in shoes, the other one in, is Marina barefoot? Okay, I didn't check. But if they're both in those sneakers, they usually have to wear the same sneakers. If they're both wearing those sneakers, that ain't no difference of 3 inches. Another thing that's rare, you already got a whole bunch of fights. You're still young. So you got a load of experience at an extremely young age. That's already rare. But then she goes into UFC and starts training with a legend, Amanda Nunes. What? What did you say? Almost went into hibernation training with Nunes. Do y'all think people are taking that into consideration? How many other girls just busting out rounds with Nunes? How many other girls doing that? And I suspect Nunes sees a little bit of herself in Lucindo. Short, chubby, Brazilian chick. Not really fluent on English yet. And from the bottom, so Nunes might be sharing some of her most valuable secrets with this girl. Who knows? I don't think Rodriguez is in a good standing if she's fighting a fighter like that, when she's only won 1 out of her last 4 fights. She's lost 3 out of her last 4. Now, I respect Rodriguez. I believe she could still catch girls and hurt them or stop them. And she could do that here. I don't think that's impossible. It could happen. But I'm taking her opponent. I'm not counting on it happening. Put it like that. She looks too close in height to Rodriguez. Rodriguez has already been bested striking. Rodriguez cannot understand. Let me say this slow. She cannot deal with counter strikers. Go back, watch her against Lemos. She was completely dominated. That fight was pretty much all on the feet. You tell me what she had the most problems with. A big problem for Rodriguez is there is a full-blown blueprint on how to beat her. When you get dominated on the feet, and that's supposed to be your bread and butter, you in all kinds of trouble with future opponents. Many of them gonna look at you as food. At least the ones who are really good strikers. They're gonna be like, uh-oh. You shouldn't have let that happen. Go watch that fight. Rodriguez cannot deal with counter strikers. It frustrates her to death. And Lucindo can crack. She clobbers you with right hands. Go watch the girls that she punches. They look like they're starting to re-examine their life when they get hit. It's like the whole life flash in front of them. It's like, oh, are you all right? She be clobbering these chicks. Rodriguez, man, don't like to be clobbered. She'll be feisty for a little bit. But, man, when Rodriguez get clobbered a few times, she starts blinking. Start blinking real fast. She starts getting that doubtful look on her face, especially in between rounds. I'm telling you, she go out here in the first round and get popped a few good times, and you see her with a doubtful look between rounds, she's gonna be in all kinds of trouble. And I also think Lucindo is the only fighter who is a takedown threat. She's taken girls down before. Rodriguez has shown to be vulnerable on the ground. Why wouldn't she try it here? What does that mean? I don't like taking fighters who themselves are not a takedown threat, only a striking threat, and their opponent is a striking threat and a takedown threat. That's exactly how Lemos was. So no thank you. I don't know what the odds are. Respect Rodriguez. Love to watch her fight. This is a good card. I mean, honestly, she's one of my favorite fighters. And I give her a chance. Anybody can get caught. MMA, anything can happen. She can win. But I'm going with Lucindo. And I'll be respectful. It's about 55-45. I'm about 55-45 Lucindo. Don't know what the odds are. Don't care. Let's move on to the next fight. Now, I want y'all to imagine to yourselves. Think to yourself. Imagine Ketlin went out here and destroyed Kayla Harrison. I believe Kayla is good on the mic. I think she embarrassed Juliana Pena, which I think is kind of hard to do. Pena usually runs her mouth and has her way with these girls, at least on the microphone. Well, Kayla kind of embarrassed her on the microphone. People thought Pena probably should never even try. So she's a character. She's a personality. Those types of fighters tend to draw attention to the sport. Draw attention to the sport. And I've always said, I'm on record saying, undefeated fighters who look incredible, I get behind those fighters. If you got an O, go. Go. Because I don't want to see everybody getting beaten up. I'm telling you now. I don't want to see in every division all the girls get beaten up. I want to see some of you looking unstoppable. I don't settle for less or lackluster. That ain't entertaining to me to see all of y'all getting knocked out. I want to see a couple of y'all who look like you can't be touched. Who raising the bar, setting the standard. Like we can evolve. If all of them taking L's, it's saying they can't get no further than they are now, than the caliber they're at now. You send a man in there, he go run right through the division, slap the champion around like it ain't nothing, and what will he demonstrate? There is more evolving y'all can do. You know what I'm saying? It's like obvious common sense. You need some fighters raising the bar. You need the Eric Dickersons. You need those standout players that look amazing. Those are the fighters, those are the athletes who bring attention to the sport. And who, in my opinion, are more entertaining to watch. I'm more likely to tune into your fights if you're blowing through the division. Because normal human beings not supposed to do that. I don't understand how anybody could not get behind that. Seeing humans look superhuman. We have the ability to look superhuman. So I want to see it. I don't want to see everybody looking normal. That's just me. Y'all don't have to wish that. Y'all can wish, oh, if Ketlin wins, that'll be great. I would love it. If I don't care. No, I care. Because bantamweight is the deadest division. If it's any division that need a standout, it's 135. So I'm saying all this to say, yes, I have bias in this particular fight. I like Ketlin and she could win. But if Ketlin wins, I want Ketlin to go and beat up everybody else, take the belt, and be incredible herself. I think it's less likely she does that. I think, that it's on the table with Kayla. We don't know yet. But she really wants to maul you and stop you and beat you up. Bad. She really don't want to strike with you like that. But I feel like we've seen the best from Ketlin Vieira. And I think if Ketlin were to beat this prospect, that would be bad for the division. And it's not even a personal thing with Ketlin. In the moment, I'd be happy. Hey, good for you, Ketlin. That would be amazing. She'd go here and beat her up. And she could. She might box her to death. I suspect she's going to punch Kayla repeatedly. And that's the only thing Ketlin is going to want to do. I don't think she's going to want to take her down, nothing like that. Or even be in a clinch with her. Ketlin wants to outbox her. That's why she made fun of her punching ability. Press conference, Ketlin said, you can't punch. Okay? Sound like she wants to come in here and punch. And look at Kayla's fights. She really don't have no hands. Ketlin Vieira got hands. Unusual hands. She'd throw jab and then throw a hook immediately after. Follow it up with a hook with the same arm. Good at check shots, check hooks as you're coming in. She's a counter striker, all with her fists. Much better boxer than Kayla Harrison. But I'm going to take Kayla Harrison. Y'all look at the triangle of fights between these bantamweights. Ketlin already fought Holly. They both fought Holly Holm. Anybody care to compare the strength? You watch Ketlin against Holm. Holm got her moments. Like, Holly was not being bullied at all by Ketlin like that. It wasn't like that. She got a hip toss early in the fight, but Holly kept her against the fence for a long time, landing good shots. Ketlin was challenged. She was clearly her equal. They were just about equal. Kayla and Holly was not equal. Holly got ragdoll. And what I suspect is Kayla got superhuman strength for that division. She can get you down, start tossing you around. It's bad news. It's bad news. Extremely strong. Okay? She's likely just as strong as a man. her size. I don't think she's that tall. 5'7", 5'6", something like that. I'm sure there are men who are 5'6", whatever, her height, her same height, who she's stronger than. Especially guys who don't work out, who don't weight train. She probably knock them smooth out. Huh? So Kettlin's not impossible to get a hold of. But again, Kettlin could win. I'm taking Kayla Harrison in this fight. And I hope Kayla Harrison wins. Because look, did y'all watch that press conference? She's crashing out almost like she's on drugs. She's crashing out. She's already lost her mind. So she's either going to look incredible or extremely dumb. She's turned trash talk all the way up. Talking about, I'm going to smash everybody. I could beat them all in one night. These girls are no competition for me. This is what Kayla's saying. I will walk through all of them. Kayla, again, most girls don't talk like that. And you're not supposed to. That's why people who talk, fighters who talk like that, you immediately get a lot of attention. They're like, okay, let's see. Especially if you're a good talker. The better talker you are, the more people going to tune in and like, okay, let's see. That's what Kayla's doing to herself. Just like sort of Juliana to an extent, but we didn't see her get slapped around. You're not supposed to do that when you got an O. When you're undefeated. She's doing it, so she's crashing out. She's like, hey, I'm willing to look real dumb, take all kind of heat. And do y'all think she's mentally strong enough to take a L, get smacked around, embarrassed, and then dumped on by UFC fans, reminding her of how she was talking before all this? I mean, that's the highest form of disrespect. I can beat them all in one night. Really? You really think you can go 5 rounds with one, then fight a fresh body again right there? Maybe go another 5 rounds. And even if you win, you think you could take on a third fresh body? That's just disrespectful. She was just being disrespectful. No other girl is talking like that. So she got my attention. And that's just what it is. Fighters like that grab a lot of people's attention. And if you can pull it off, it's like guaranteed you're going to be big. You're going to be big if you can pull it off. Even if you have a horrible character and you're not funny. Even if you're annoying. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Many people couldn't stomach listening to him talk. Seriously. Even many of his fans could not get through a single Floyd interview. But how many people were tuning into his fights? Because when you're undefeated and you're talking like that, the haters come. The people who want to see you lose. Can anybody shut this person up? Because they're doing an awful lot of talking. And the thing that annoys them the most is that you're walking the walk. Like, okay, you sound annoying. You talking a whole lot of smack. And you beating up all these girls. You doing exactly what you said you're going to do. Wow. Okay, I respect it. But can anybody beat her up? I'm sick of this shit. Thank you, Kayla Harrison. Let's see if she does it. Hey, good luck to you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to be her surrogate son or no nonsense like that. And I'm saying if Kettlin was in her shoes, I'd be pushing for Kettlin just as hard. I'm biased towards people's record and accomplishments. Don't really care who the fighter is. pulling it off. But Kayla she could very well go ahead and get boxed up. Because she does not have no hands. At least not on the level of Ketlin's. So she better hope she gets slept. The main event, or the title fight. I'm taking Raquel Pennington. Pennington fought Ketlin. Right? Watch that fight again. I feel that they were just about equals as well. Physical strength, right? Competitiveness, they were just about equals. But when you look at the strength difference, the way Kayla tossed Holly around like that, ragdoll mauled her like that, like easily took dominant positions on the mat and kept it like that. If Ketlin she should get tossed around like that as well. Holly fought Ketlin. And they were just about equals. Physical strength. Holly in moments looked the stronger fighter. She went in there and got ragdoll. Why wouldn't Kayla do the same thing to Ketlin, who proved to be Holly's physical strength equal? Logic tells me she gonna go in here and be able to maul Ketlin too. That fight get on the ground. There's a good chance Ketlin's better, of course, at jiu-jitsu, much better than Holly Holm. So that's the difference. But Kayla got a superhuman type thing going. And I think if she mauls Ketlin, then there's a higher chance she's going to do the same thing to Raquel Pennington, who proved to be essentially the equal of Ketlin Vieira. Ketlin had her up against that cage forever, it seemed like. So the writing is kind of on the wall for Kayla to show that she's too strong for these girls. Writing's on the wall for that, but it's definitely not on the wall that she won't get punched up and kicked up, beaten up, outstruck again, right? But Raquel Pennington, I just think is better. Somebody's going to get stopped. Juliana's style is not that, in my opinion, like she's crazy the way she fights, reckless, and she got embarrassed on the mic by Kayla Harrison, which I think messed up her whole ego. Her ego was still hurting by the time she got on the scale during the weigh-in from being embarrassed on the microphone. I suspect a lot of her ego, she's one of those fighters whose ego has to stay intact during the build-up. They have to always be the alpha in order to perform well. Some fighters are like that. That's just what it is. If anything gets them flustered and they feel like they're the intellectual inferior to somebody, they're not going to fight with as much confidence. Raquel, I think, is a little underrated. She was out striking Ketlin. And I rank Ketlin as a striker. She's a pretty good striker. She's got pretty good hands. She throws body shots too, Ketlin Vieira. And she was getting outstruck by Raquel Pennington. Pena reminds me of Miesha Tate. Remember how Miesha Tate got boxed up by Ketlin Vieira? And just reckless. Easy to punch. Julia, and she's been off forever. I mean, what is she doing? It was a good point raised by Kayla Harrison. She's been fighting for what? 15, 20 years? And she's got been fighting like once a year, if that. extremely inactive. Rocky's more active. She seemed to be in her prime. I'm taking Raquel Pennington. But if Pennington wins and Kayla wins, my point in, comparing them going back and forth, I'm taking Kayla over Raquel. It all depends on how they win. But if it stays on the feet, Pennington she'll probably win the fight. Same with this fight. If this fight stays on the feet, I expect Kayla to be getting punched up and embarrassed, which is exactly what I'm talking about. She's crashing out. She's willing to just get embarrassed like that. Hey, I'm take the chance. Girl, you ain't never fought no Ketlin Vieira. You never fought no fighter caliber Ketlin Vieira. Ketlin is truly a battle-tested, strong-minded, passionate fighter. She truly is. When she lost the first time, you could tell it crushed her. Like, she really does have a competitive character. And the skill. You know she got much better hands than you, Kayla. You know she's strong. Ketlin is strong. But why should Kayla respect Ketlin's physical strength when she struggled so much with Holly Holm? You can imagine Kayla went home feeling like she had just beaten a teenager or something. Like, man, that was so easy. That was so easy. She tried to take me down. Remember, Holly initiated the takedown. And for a moment, was on top of Kayla. She thought she could do some of that to me. And boy, after that, it was just over. She got mauled the whole first round. In the second round, started getting kicked and hit with strikes. Easily taken down. Kayla got this football style where she died. She closed distance fast. And she's closing distance with like a tackle. Right? Just watch her fights. I just think it's hard. It's kind of hard to stay away from her, to keep her off of you. And when she gets a hold of you, especially if she gets you down, it just seems like that's where the superhuman strength comes in. She comes in heavy, and look at the muscles. She get down on top of you, it's got to be like a cow on top of you. That's what it looks like. The opponents on the bottom look like they got a whole cow sitting on top of them. Holly, I've never seen her just get squashed like that. So, look, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm interested. Listen, Bantamweight got my attention. Like I said, I'm not changing my stance. Kayla got my attention. She crashing out in a way she not supposed to. Like if she wasn't popping off at the mouth the way she is, I would not be behind her like that. I wouldn't want to see her win. But I want to see anything incredible. Same with Cavalcante. I hope she can stay undefeated in UFC, go and do something. Look incredible, man. That's all you got to do. That'll help the division. Look incredible. People, and then when there's multiple fighters who are undefeated or whatever, you want to see them fight. So what does that mean? There are now a bunch of fights in that division that you want to see happen. Then it's just as competitive and fun as the other divisions. You need to stand out fighters, people. You need to stand out fighters. That's just what it is. I don't know. You just got to put your emotions aside about what you think of the fighter personally. And I guess it's hard for a lot of fighters to do that. Ailin Perez. Look, what I'm pointing out is what they can do to make me want to watch their fights. That's what I'm doing. If Aileen keep being ultra cringe and still winning fights, I'm tuning in, hoping somebody beat her up. Well, not really hoping, just eager to see how she deals with the embarrassment. Okay, you're not the best. I want to see how you take that now. You know, you still have to be a fighter after a loss. I want to see how they take it, and if it's going to happen. So let's see. Now I think there might be some other undefeated, but Perez has already lost. She's already lost. Not at bantamweight though. Maybe you're right. Not at bantamweight. So go. Let's see. You have my attention. If you're getting beaten up, everybody beating each other up, you know what's gonna happen, at least for me. When I hear about these fight matches up, I ain't gonna care about it. Like, yeah. That's what happens. You hear a fight lined up, why? Not excited about that fight. Who cares? You want to see competitive fighters, see them matched up. And let me tell you something about Cavalcante. If she increases her output, she will probably be the most dangerous striker in the division. I think all she need to do is increase her output a little bit. She got to keep more. When you got offense that high level, to some extent, you got to use it for defense. It has to some extent, to a significant extent, serve as defense, the way you defend yourself, the way you keep your opponent shelled up, covering up, on the defensive. They don't want to deal with these combinations. You throw combinations like a dude. That alone makes even the best of girls want to turtle up and be defensive. And she kind of throws hands like dudes. So we'll see what happens with her. She's definitely big. I think, like I said, I think that's something a lot of people might be overlooking. She's huge. To be that solid at 135, you're a big person. Same with Perez. She's pretty big too. She's just short and big. Some of these girls who kind of frail, I think they're going to get ragdolled. Especially, remember what I pointed out, some of these girls, I think, never really dabbled in substances and, juices. Some of them never really did. But others seriously have. And they kind of got a permanent strength advantage in there, even if they're now off of it. Got some permanent benefits from it while they were on it. Hey, Norma's doing good. Norma's a quality fighter too. When these fighters get matched up against Norma, they're going to be in trouble. Same with This is a pretty strong division if you ask me. Lisboa, I think these are all good fighters. These are good fighters. And like I said, we're still early in their career. Who knows? They might go on and have 20, 30 UFC fights. Several fighters do. Most of these girls have very few UFC bouts. So yeah, I'm taking Raquel Pennington. But I'm interested to see that fight because of all the trash talk. Boy, they kind of lit the press conference up with the trash talk. Caitlin Vieira was very animated. She called Kayla ugly. She called her ugly. Something about, hey, people don't want to see your ugly face. Wow. She's crashing out too. Can we talk about Ketlin crashing out? This ain't no Ketlin I remember. And she was like angry, like the whole time. Like, hey, you're dreaming, you're delusional. Ever since she put that tweet out when Kayla beat home, she's just been after Kayla Harrison. Infuriated at this privilege to just instantly get a title shot after one fight in the UFC. It was a legitimate complaint to the point UFC had to make this fight. They had to make it. But to see them both crashing out, I didn't expect that. Didn't expect that. Now, Kayla's been crashing out. I'm talking about Ketlin. Kayla always talks smack, or talks the way she talks. Not really smack. She always is who she is, and it's kind of animated, right? Sometimes she say things that's, it's quality statements. Says she's gonna crack Ketlin's skull. Okay, I can dig that. In fighting, that's a quality statement. I mean, I'm a crack her skull. Check. But to hear Ketlin crash out, she said you can't punch. That was cool. That was fight related. That was business. But the point to say that she got an ugly face, did not expect that. That's all I'm saying. Okay, what's going on? Why is the whole world's crashing out? Haven't y'all noticed? Some of y'all favorite YouTubers crashing out. People are just annoyed right now. Everybody's annoyed. And I think it might make for better fights. Hopefully. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Let me not get too excited. The mom fight. Now look, people. Oh, one more thing before I scoot along. Who do y'all think? Look at this. Who do y'all think got the longer reach for the people taking Rodriguez? And the fact that I'm even asking this question tells you who got the longer reach. Most people think it's Rodriguez. It ain't. So those knuckle sandwiches are going to be on the longer arms, coming from longer arms. Rodriguez, 65-inch reach. Lucindo, 67. So, man, listen, man, I'm taking Lucindo. That's what it is. Carla already beat Tisha. Most people not pointing that out. Yes, it was a long time ago. 10 years ago. But she got that edge on her. And a lot of times, those opponents start seeing those old demons. They get flashbacks. It happened to Nora against Cavalcante. You can see it in her eyes. Here go again. Only girl to beat me up again, and I'm about to just get beaten up. You can see it in her face that's what was going through her head. Yep, here go again. I can't do nothing with this chick. Her hands are too fast. She throw punches like a dude, and they hurt. I'm about to get beaten up again. Both my losses about to be to this same chick. That could happen to Tisha. I know Carla, here's the thing. I don't know what's going to happen in this fight. Tisha's more Carla Carla, I don't. When women have, I know they both have had a baby, but some women take it better than others. And Carla's 100% saying she about to retire. Is there an issue? She did mention that women's bodies change after giving birth. You know, things happen. And it's not really conducive, you know, it's not smart to continue being a fighter. So I'm starting to suspect there might be some issue there. Will it cause her to, you know, fight different? That's my question. She's been off for a while. Her last fight was a dud, right? Wasn't it? Oh, no, it wasn't. What am I talking about? She fought well against Zhang. She put in maximum effort. But I'm siding towards Tisha. I don't know what's going to happen. But I can see Carla winning this fight. She's a much better wrestler than Tisha. You know? Better wrestler. And I think they're kind of even with the striking. Carla's little football, you know, she run in with those punches. Tisha does that. Have those, you know, run in a straight line. They're throwing left, right, left, right. They got that kind of, and this is the last fight. She might try to crash out. Who knows? Carla might be annoyed too. You know, we think she going in there with this mom spirit. She might go in there and crash out. And I expect, you know, at least all the fights should be entertaining. I'd be disappointed if either one of them boring. Y'all better not stink up this card. You got no reason. Yeah, y'all listen. Y'all better not stink up this card. You got 4 fights on here. It's usually not that many. Y'all got to show out. You got to show why you belong on these cards. Why you belong on these main events. You got to go for it. You know, don't be playing around, waiting. None of that nonsense. But Tisha is a better striker. Good wrestler. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm taking Carla. Look at Tisha's record, man. Let me see. Look at this. Okay. I think her record is bad. You saw Carla's. She got 1 loss after a very long win streak. With your girl. Lost a split to Dern. Lost a split to Ricci. I don't know about that, man. Carla might have a point. And it's not the first losing streak Tisha been on. I know it's been a while since Carla fought, but she's doing better than Tisha. Look at that record. And there's Carla's record. Taking Carla. We'll see what happens. But I'm entertained so far. I'm entertained. Let's see if the fights can live up to the hype. This fight's not really hyped up, but that's okay. You got moms, recent moms doing their thing. We'll give them a pass for that. But the Kayla Harrison, here's the thing. How many female fights or divisions have cross conflicts like this? Where, you know, you got 4 of them really talking smack all to each other. Like there's real tension in the air at 135. It's almost like they're getting annoyed by how people don't think the division is what it was. At the fact is, it was a dead division. You know, it's been a dead division. So they just crashing out. They have conjured up this crash out spirit like, Okay, I think it should be entertaining fights. But Kayla Harrison she takes the cake, man. I'm sorry. We've seen Ketlin lose. She lost to Yana. Lost to. I think a lot of people thought she won that fight. I think, right? I think one of her fights was kind of questionable. Of course, knocked out by Irene Aldana, and she had another loss in there somewhere. She seems vulnerable. And she seems like the equal of fighters like Holly Holm, Raquel Pennington, both fighters who she went 5 rounds with. And they had good moments in those fights. She was getting outstruck in long stretches against Raquel Pennington. We know, I've seen it there. I've seen it happen already. She's already fought these girls before. I want to see something incredible. And I think it'll be incredible if Kayla can come in here and smash her way up to the title and smash all these girls. You won't be able to deny it because they all talking smack. All talking smack. So a whole bunch of humble pies will be passed out along with the fact that you could, because even though it's a boring division, these are still tough chicks. That's just what it is. And I don't see no fighter just being able to walk through the whole division. I don't care who it is. Norma Dumont, Ketlin, they've proven to not be able to do that already. Haven't they? Every fighter at bantamweight has an L. That's been the problem with the division. That's why it's been so dead. Why y'all think Whaley brought life? So many fighters brought life. Joanna brought life to strawweight division. They were undefeated. Had this undefeated streak where they looked invincible. And, there were some prospects at 135. Just haven't had any. Everybody's taking an L. And that's, some divisions do that. Everybody is just sort of at an even level. In a division like that, the first fighter to smash through everybody is going to bring attention and is going to stand out. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if she can pull it off. Boy, she better not go in here and get embarrassed. That would be so hilarious. Kayla, go in here and get smacked around, beaten up, punched up and down. Maybe even stop. You get knuckled up. Ketlin Vieira, she stop you, maybe even taunt you. And it's an embarrassing loss. Man, oh man. Kayla. Just say, there'll be a lot of footage to reflect on. Things that Kayla said. But if Kayla can back it up, hey, wow. Yeah, that'd be a wow moment for you. She's crashing out. I will see y'all after the fights.